Welcome, everyone, to season 6, the Beyond Pace season. We have another episode featuring another voice that's been on the podcast before, and I'm so happy to welcome Sharon Mexal back. Sharon is, if you haven't listened to the episode, go back, go find it. The inspiration for my daily sunblock use. Now
Yay.
I'm like sunblock every morning throughout the day. There's just sunblock going on my face. So go back and listen to that episode
That
if you
makes
need that inspiration for why to put well, it's not sunblock, sunscreen. Excuse me. Sunscreen. I learned that from you as well. So, Sharon, you've been on the podcast before. And life has happened since the last time, including your retirement from marathoning, which I'm so proud of you. And maybe just a little bit envious because I'm not there. I don't know when I'll get there, if I'll get there, or if just the craziness of being a runner is going to continue. So I want to hear more as to how that came to be. But first, can you introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself to us and give us that recap of how you became a runner and what does running mean to you now?
great. Well, thank you, Stephanie, and I'm super excited to be back. And really glad to hear about your daily sun care, sun safety routine. But yeah, just to reintroduce myself, my name's Sharon Mexal. I am a retired marathon runner now. I am a Abbott world major six-star finisher now. It's been a couple years since we last chatted. I think last time I spoke with you, I was training for the Chicago Marathon, and I know we got to do it together that year. And I couldn't even fathom doing Boston and fundraising that amount for a charity. But since then, yeah, I have a lot to share. I did do Boston. I did do fundraising. It was a phenomenal experience, but gotten to the point now where I'm ready to continue road racing, continue fundraising, for focus on family and work and continuing to do the awareness I've been doing and fundraising for skin cancer and melanoma. So that's where I am today.
When did you start running?
So I started running back in grad school in my 20s. I was in Colorado and, everybody's so active there. Was getting into like 5Ks, 10Ks. I did, I think the Boulder was my first 10K. That's a huge event out there. And so how can you not get inspired to like do like endurance races out. We didn't even have medals back in the day. But it was so much fun to be around all that and just, you get hooked on the like the 10K, then the half marathon, and then it's, oh, I'll do one marathon, and then you're, in deep with the lottery system and can't stop.
Yeah, listen, it's not that's how I thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to be a one and done with the marathon. And I truly believe in my case, it's like I'm one and done in the sense of I'm Chicago and nothing else. At this point, I'm like that race I've ran so many times, and it's just it's my favorite race, my favorite racing experience. But I'm curious how you came to the decision to retire from marathoning.
Well, you mentioned Chicago being your favorite, and I think it's my favorite as well. That's the only marathon I did twice. So my first was LA. I thought, okay, I hope be one and done. Then a friend convinced my running buddy convinced me, let's get into the lottery for Big Sur. We got in, and then after that, I was like, oh, let's try the lottery for Berlin, and got in there, and that's how it kind of snowballed from there. But as I got to further along in my like six-star journey, it was getting to the point where I was like, okay, I just want to get through this. It wasn't like I'm enjoying this. I want to race this. It was more like survival mode. Like literally, like I was getting to the point where I don't want to end up in a wheelchair at the end of my race. Like I don't want to end up in the medical tent. And my lifelong goal is to stay healthy, mobile. And I felt like with marathon training, it was getting to the point where it was almost like not beneficial. Like I trained for a few half marathons to really race it, and I felt more fit than I did doing the marathon. So it was a point of like diminishing returns. And with Chicago, the last time I did it, I was recovering from a stress fracture. I did get to do it and had a really good race experience. And it was so enjoyable. It's like, why do I want to go through this again? Like, just, if I can't race it and just have a good time, like, yeah, it's,
I mean, it takes a lot of reflection to figure out what's best for you and what's right for you. And I say that because I feel like we're currently in a running boom where it seems like everyone is running a marathon, or, I mean, you see it, right?
and you
Historic number of people entering lotteries, races that didn't have lotteries before now have lotteries or they sell out. So it's hard to know. I think that difference between what is right for me and like the FOMO of it, of I don't want to miss out. Everybody's doing that.
And you feel it like year after year, the races are getting bigger. So like the first time I did Chicago, it felt big, but not like the last time I did it, where I think there was well over 50,000 people and we were like spilling out of the corrals. And yeah, it was insanity. And you're right, like everybody's finishing a marathon thinking, okay, what's the next one I'm gonna do? And especially after Boston, I really and my 6 star finish. I really wanted to relish that achievement and just enjoy running and running in my community and running in cities I hadn't run before. So yeah, I'm kind of taking a step back right now, and it's going to give me also more time in my day. Like obviously the training takes a lot of time. Whereas other distances, it's a lot more manageable. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for the fact that in my case, right, Chicago, I have legacy status,
Yeah.
so I don't have to go through the same lottery process. I love the city. I love the race. Like there's so much about that experience that I love. If it weren't that, like I have not, I mean, I did London because I would like to get my 6 star finisher, but at the same time, I'm not interested in fundraising a lot of money. And that's just where I'm at. And also I have Tokyo left and I'm not interested in that travel right now. That just
Yeah.
seems like a lot. So very privileged. I just want to say that very privileged that those are my issues. Oh, I don't want to
Yes.
fundraise and I don't want to travel, right? But it does take a lot of reflection to determine what does feel good for you and why do you run? Because you can achieve the exact same thing in a half marathon that you can in a marathon, just like you can do it in a 5K or a 10K. If your goal is to run for longevity, that doesn't mean you have to run marathons. So admitting that to yourself, that's a huge win.
And when I finished Boston, that was the same race that Des Linden, retired her road racing career at. And I just saw some interviews with her late recently, and she's like marathon. She just did New York for fun, but in an interview, she was talking about how marathons are overrated, how 5Ks are awesome, 10Ks are awesome, and it's true. Like 5Ks can be harder than marathons in a lot of ways. But you're out there and did a 10 miler recently. We have a 10 miler in my area that's like the oldest 10 miler in the nation. What a cool distance to say you PR'd in, and it's the perfect distance. It's like just a little bit longer than a 10K, but shorter than a half marathon and right on the beach. I mean, yeah, there's a lot more out there to explore. So, yeah, agree with Des there.
Yeah. So, going to the theme of this episode and the theme of the season is beyond pace. It is expanding how we think about running. And with that idea of expanding our ideas around running, can you share your favorite running memory with us?
So, so expanding it beyond running is it
Expanding what running is,
is.
right? Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's very much still the goal setting. And it's meant so much more to me over the years, whether it's, setting that goal for I want to run a marathon, or I want to break sub 2, or I want to train somebody else to run a half marathon. Or I want to raise money through running this race. So it's about setting goals, learning how to persevere and keep up with those goals, and maybe adjust those goals as things maybe aren't, tracking the way you thought it would be. So I think for me, that's been a big part of it. And obviously, like, yeah, you don't have to run a marathon for that. It's a great metaphor for it, but definitely don't need to.
When you think about goal setting, is there one race in particular where you felt like setting the goal for it was either easy, or if not, that you felt adjusting the goals made the most sense? Is there one race that stands out to you with that?
Yeah, so I did Mountains to Beach. It's a race in Ventura, California, a couple of years ago. I had signed up for the full marathon and got injured, but I remember talking to my coach, and we decided I had some life changes at the time as well, changed jobs, and we decided let's just do the switch from the full to the half. And it was such a fun experience, like really training for speed. And my goal was to like go sub 2 for the first time. And yeah, it took my family out there. It was a beautiful race, really gentle downhill course. And yeah, hit that goal just barely, but it was such a fun experience. And I felt so fit, just staying healthy, following my coach's advice, and it all stemmed from like that, working with her to just pivot to a shorter distance. So it was a great experience.
Okay, I'm going to pick at this more because as I've said before, runners are not right in the head. And maybe that'll be my new tagline. Runners are not right in the head. How did you, what was the process like of pivoting? Like, what did that mean to you to change that goal? Because I find that a lot of people, and I'm not, I'm just going to throw out a generalization here. A lot of people do distances that they should not do, when pivoting to a shorter distance would have been either healthier or more beneficial or mentally better. So, what was that process like for you of pivoting in your goals for that race?
It was definitely some introspection, like having some talks with myself, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this distance I signed up for. I can either defer it to another year, or I'm probably in a good position to like train and to that shorter distance. And so I had that, I got on the call, I remember, with my coach, And she's like, well, I don't let, she also was trying to prepare me for, we can't do the full, but let's try to do this, shorter distance, the half distance. So we were on the same page. So having her to talk through it also helped quite a bit. But I had already been thinking in my head, like, do I just skip doing it altogether, or can I have some fun with a shorter distance, which is what ended up happening. I had so much fun at that race. Um, yeah, with just the half marathon distance.
How far into training were you when you made that choice?
I think it was halfway through already the training. And it's always like I would much rather prefer doing something rather than a DNS and it turned out to be such a great experience.
Did you feel guilty at all when you made that choice?
No, definitely not. Because
It was,
I got so much, and I get so much, that's part of why I enjoy the half marathon distance so much. I got so much out of that experience, that no regrets of not doing the full.
yeah, I love that because again, I'll see people and I'm like, can you just not do the race or can you drop down to a different distance? It's the races happen every single year, and it's okay to say not this year. And I'm curious, I want to get your thoughts because I feel like some people get caught up in the identity of doing a particular distance, right? You announced that you're training for this race. So I am a marathoner, or I am training to be a marathoner in mountains to beach. Did you experience that kind of feel like it's almost like is it for me or is it for them
And I
mentality?
think with the majors, if you're running a major and you've put that out there, there's a lot more weight to it. So that maybe if it was a major, I would have it had a harder time pivoting that quickly. So I do think there is something to it that people put it out there, and especially like the world majors have so much prestige associated with them that people don't want to give up that opportunity because they fought so hard to get a spot. So I do think that does have a big part of it as well.
Yeah, that's the interesting part with the world's marathon majors,
Yeah.
especially because they are getting harder to get into. And I mean, I've heard stories of people who run those races or participate in those races injured and they're not 100% or even 90% on race day, and they still go because they don't go, then they lose that opportunity to be
Yeah.
there. And I wouldn't even know what to say to a person in that case because I know how hard it is to get into those races.
And I've been injured before, like training during some of those races, some of them, like including with Boston, like I had committed to like charity, a significant amount of fundraising, and sometimes you can't defer there. You don't have a lot of options. So I worked really hard to find other ways to train for it in a healthy way to get to the starting line healthy and in a way that wouldn't further, injure me or cause, damage to my running down the line. But it's tough.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
would you say to someone that's in that position?
To really reevaluate um, if if it's where is it going to cause like damage down the long term? Are there other ways to train for the race too? So like for Boston, I actually trained on a stationary bike for the most of my training cycle. Never thought that that was the way it was going to go. Didn't even, I think I ended up my last training run leading up to my injury was like 16 miles. That was the most I did, but most of it was on a bike. It was really boring, but that was what my decision. I was gonna, with my coach, I worked with her. I had also a whole team of like PT chiropractor. But if I had made that commitment and had a path that way, but if it's going to cause further damage, you're going to be a lot more injured and it's going to take a lot longer to recover, sometimes even like 6 months longer if you make the wrong decision to go in for it injured.
I think you're highlighting something that's really important in terms of the amount of support that you need
Yeah,
to do these races. And it's support that you should have even when you're healthy, right? Of people that you know you can talk to, or if something comes up that you can go see. And that feels kind of contradictory to running because running is such a solo sport, or it can be like a very solo sport. But the support network is so pivotal to a lot of the decisions that get made about training or about recovery or about rest. And that's where I think for me, like as a coach, I'd feel more comfortable with someone being quote unquote injured for a race if I know they have a physical therapist and like that there is a team of people, not just me, but a team of people
yeah.
behind that athlete and advising them and training them and helping them get to the start line as healthy as possible. Because let's be real, there's also a lot of really stubborn people out there that will want to do the race regardless. So not only are we talking about if I don't do it this year, I lose the entry, but we also have a lot of people who are like, no, I'm doing this. I said I was going to do this. I'm going to do this and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got that team of people, because much to the point that you're making, you run the race and then risk maybe 6 months of not being able to run. Maybe your decision making process is different if you have your care team telling you, hey, these are the risks that you like. Are you willing to risk this for this experience?
Totally. And if I didn't have that same team like having the confidence that it was going to happen in a safe way, I wouldn't have done it. And you highlight a really good point that like these marathons do take a huge support team, whether it's a coach, PT, chiropractor, your family, your friends. It's a big commitment for everybody involved.
It really is. And I'm curious, in your opinion, how do you think these support people play a role in the goal setting process?
They play obviously your coach is going to be key here for, setting the week by week if things get off track, like helping you with how to reset and if the right path is, moving forward with the race. Obviously, you need the support of your family, or it's not going to be a happy family life for you. Just to understand like the time expectations, and if something does go wrong, being there for support and to help also make those decisions. And then, obviously, like I relied too on my PT, my chiropractor, to help me make decisions. Like, am I healthy enough to move forward with this race? So, come Boston Marathon weekend, like I was texting all of them, like PT, chiropractor, like, hey, we're here, we made it, and it was great to have them with me from, just over text, knowing that I had their support behind me from all those weeks leading up to it. But yeah, it's a big commitment with having that team behind you.
Yeah, so choose wisely, people. Whoever's included in your
Yes.
team, make sure you vet them, make sure make sure they understand your personality, you understand their personalities, and that it's a good fit. Because if you feel good about the advice and the treatment that you're getting, then it's easier to commit to the process of doing what they're suggesting you do, right? Like if you have respect and appreciation for your PT, you're going to be more likely to do whatever exercises they're telling you to do.
Yeah, and do it on your own time so you don't end up more back in PT. And then, friends are also a big part of it for better or worse. Like obviously they're going to be there to support you, but also sometimes peer pressure you into what sounds like a good idea at the time. So I've been very clear with my run squad that I'm willing to support you as a cheerleader or run the race if it's non-marathon distance, but you can't talk me into another marathon race vacation anymore.
No, no. You're like, don't count on me. My role has changed. Thank
Yes.
you. I'm curious, and this is my questioner tendencies coming out every time I say curious. When it comes to pivoting, right? We've been talking a lot about the goals and pivoting with the goals. How would you say embracing a mentality that allows for pivoting has shaped you as a runner?
I think it comes also a lot with age. I mean, obviously you're not like I see my kids, they're fast, and they get injured, they get back up again fairly quickly. But I have to face also reality that I'm getting older and it's going to take longer to recover, even from day-to-day workouts, or if something does go wrong, if I get injured, it's going to take longer for me. So I think that coupled with just the wisdom of getting older has helped me with that mentality, like, hey, if I'm in it for the long game, like I want to stay healthy and I want to keep running, I need to be wiser about my decisions, like what races I'm signing up for, why I'm signing up for them. Am I signing up for them for fun, for health, or am I trying to chase some big goal that everybody else is chasing? So I think with age, that has helped quite a bit, and um, being a good role model for my kids as well. I don't want them to see me out there, you know, running injured and making poor decisions because of, I'm chasing some status goal.
I mean, that's perspective in all of it. It's perspective of understanding how the aging process is affecting you. It's that perspective of understanding how your kids are viewing you, how the people that matter the most are seeing what you're doing. And because you're their role model. So they're gonna repeat, or a lot of the values that they have and the habits that they have, they're gonna get that from you. So it's that perspective. And I know I'm always thankful in my household. I'm always thankful for my family because they don't run for the most part. And whenever I get so caught up in anything that I'm doing with running, they don't care. And them not caring reminds me that, yes, it's important to me. My running goals and what I do with running is important, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good perspective. Like I never thought about it that way. And that's almost a good reason not to have them interested in running, because I'm always trying to drag them in, like, hey, let's do this 5K, let's do this 10K. And they're like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a big proponent, or I'm a big believer in there is a movement modality for all of us, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just have to be open-minded to trying different movement modalities until we find something that we like. For me, it happens to be running and yoga. For someone else, it might just be
Yeah.
going for walks. That might be the movement that they like. For other people, it's Pilates. I think there's something for all of us. We just have to try it. But in my household, for me, I appreciate it because, especially when I'm thinking about really disappointing runs or things that feel really hard on the run. And when I get home, I'm beating myself up. And it's like, okay, mom, we need to get going to school. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, I can't stress this run. They don't care. Like, you did your run, you're home, you're alive, you're fine. So I think those are things that it's that perspective of, yes, it's important, but it's not that serious.
Yeah.
So,
We have a joke in our household too. Like they like to call it jogging, which, irritates any like serious runner, like, oh, that's just your jogging.
I mean, that's how I feel when I go. I've been taking my dog out for some of my runs, and
Oh,
I feel like he's trotting and I'm power walking. Like, I don't even feel like I'm running next to him because if you were to see him, I'm running and I'm like, and you look at him and he's just strolling. He's not even running for real. And I'm like, thanks, dude. You're giving me so much confidence right now with just chilling out. All right. So if you had to, or if you got the opportunity to go back in time and speak to that Sharon in grad school, what would you tell her? What wisdom would you pass on to her when it comes to who she's becoming as an athlete and as a runner?
oh, that's a good question. Well, I would tell her, wow, look at you today running this 5K, which I thought that was my big goal every year. You're going to be running multiple marathons, running, endurance races, half marathons, which I never even thought was something I was going to do back in the, like, I didn't even like running that much. I picked up 5Ks to burn off stress. It was a good goal. Um, and you're going to be out there, you know, fundraising all this money for all these or great organizations and meet so many amazing people through running. Um, yeah, that's what I would tell her.
Flipping that around, when you think of your future runner self, what hopes do you have for her?
Well, I have met an amazing group of friends, of different, what's been great with running, I'm meeting people who are younger, older, like it really doesn't matter the age, but um, you know, I would, sorry, I repeat the question once more, sorry.
I'm like, wait, you're testing my brain now.
No, sorry.
No,
We're having
it's
too much fun.
yeah,
What would
it's when you're thinking of your future runner self, what hopes do you have for her?
I hope that that future runner will keep up the being active and staying connected to active community of again diverse people of all ages, just like I'm connected to right now. I don't want to lose that. And it's with the groups that I'm in right now, it's really great to see like again, people of all ages staying active and building friendships and community together. So I hope I'm able to keep that up.
Love that so much. All right, I have three questions left for you.
All right.
This one is probably going to be the hardest one you get, just giving you a heads up. The question is, how do you celebrate yourself as a runner?
How do I celebrate myself as a runner? That is a really good question. You know, I think the biggest thing for me is has been taking that pause, like not rushing into the next race and really celebrating the achievement, whether it's like blasting it on social media at work, like, hey, look at this goal. I'm goal oriented. Look at this big goal I achieved and really relishing it and not moving on to the next thing and just celebrating it. Like I think we're in this just this culture of like, okay, what's next? Um, so I think for me that's been the biggest thing and why I can't even fathom right now like signing up for another marathon. And yeah, hopefully I can stay that course and um not jump into something quickly, but really just relishing the milestone.
I mean, it's people don't fully understand. how much of a commitment something like a marathon can be and how you really have to be mentally ready for it. It's not just the physical training. Yes, it's hard, but it's how are you reacting and responding to the training mentally? And what are the stories that you're telling yourself as you move through training? Are you telling yourself, I got this, I can do this? Or are you telling yourself, this is too hard? Why did I sign up for this? Right? Like your thoughts play such a powerful role in that. And I don't think we fully acknowledge how much of your mind has to be ready for the challenge of training for a marathon.
Yeah, it's a little bit of all of that depending on the day, and the race day is a celebration. It's a victory lap of all of that hard work that went into it. And yeah, and sometimes there's the marathon blues afterwards. So I really tried to just relish, like, what did I accomplish? I try to stay active in different ways still, and but try to remember all that hard work that went into it, and just as a reminder to myself of what I accomplished.
And I really like that because it's extending the goal beyond the race, right? The goal is
Yeah.
also to celebrate what you accomplished. The goal is to take the time to be in that celebration and in
Yeah.
that accomplishment before moving on to the next thing, because once you move on to the next thing, you're not even fully in what you just went through. You're somewhere else. So I really appreciate that, because it is very easy to sign up for the next race and to do the next thing, and especially if you don't have the experience that you thought you would have or hoped you'd have.
Yes. Yes.
When it's like, just sit in it, sit in the discomfort for a little bit and see what can come out of it. And maybe what comes out of it is going to actually be something that propels you to a different goal or just a different place.
Yes. Yeah, especially if you didn't have the greatest race, or maybe you did DNF. You still need the time to kind of process and, assess, like, what the next goal should be. You need that time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Can you remind us where to find you, how to best connect with you, and maybe just kind of a little plug of all the things you've got coming up, because I know you got a lot coming up soon.
Sure. Well, especially since I'm not training for any marathons, I'm looking for ideas for other races that aren't marathons. So you can connect with me on like Instagram. I'm Beer Mode Racer on Instagram. So you can follow mostly dedicated to running. I'm also on LinkedIn for work-related connections. So if you want to connect with me I'm involved in oncology, clinical diagnostics, and clinical trials. If you work-related, LinkedIn. And then I'm also, as for hobbies, I do have a little Etsy shop, which have running gear that has been a great part of my fundraising adventures, and a big part of it is like world majors gear. So it's been really fun to stay still connected to that community. Um, and be a part of what's been really neat to be a part of other people's marathon journeys now, seeing the gear, like especially like bracelets. When they're at races, they'll send me pictures, and it's really fun to see, like, them in London and in Tokyo, wherever they're at. It's really cool. So yeah.
Yeah. And research and fundraising are just really big parts of your passions.
Yeah, and I'm continuing that. I'm going to be doing the Disneyland half marathon at the end of January, beginning of February. They have great charities. One charity I'm going to be a part of that I haven't really fully announced yet on social media or anything is Team Force, and they empower individuals with hereditary risk for cancers, to get tested or just different, point them to different resources. So found them, connected with them, and will be a part of their team for the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend. So really excited about that. And then I recently, this should be coming out soon as well, did some test, shared my story with Skin Cancer Foundation. I'll be part of their warrior community, so I'll be featured on their social media as well, and really excited about that because it's so important these days, especially with just a lot of misinformation about sun safety, even about skin cancer, just to get that out there. And then also with research dollars, being at risk
Mm-hmm.
more so these days, it's just really good continuing to spread the word and raise funds for those nonprofits. So yeah, that's a little bit of what's coming up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you're doing the work and you're still fundraising, you're still running. It just doesn't have to be with a marathon,
Yeah,
right? You're
yeah,
still same goals, just a distance that makes sense for you.
yeah.
All right. Final question is, what are your final words for us?
Final words for you all. Um, just have fun with running. Don't get don't get sucked into the peer pressure. Um, Again, like marathon is fun, but uh, find the distance that is really calling you and that you enjoy, that is just feels right for you, and just have fun with it. But yeah, that's any distance is awesome. Just keep active.
Yeah. And to like just tie it all into this episode in specific, right? Be curious as to what your goals are and then be okay with pivoting
Yep.
as you're
De
running for you.
Des Linden did it. We can too.
If the pros can do it, so can we.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Sharon, thank you so much for being here with me today, for chatting and just being you and being such a light within the community and with sharing the message today of pivoting because pivoting is so important. So thank you so much for being with us on this episode.
Thanks for having me. And again, yeah, send along any recommendations for races. I'm happy to try something new at some race I haven't tried before.
Yeah, let's do it. 2026.
Let's
Let's
do it.
go adventuring. All
Yeah.
right, everybody. See you next
All
time.
right. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.